In the mid-game, it is difficult to play TECHNOMANCER due to his lack of firepower, especially against hordes of enemies. One-on-one, this class is so good. One-on-one with the bosses, playing using TECHNOMANCER is as easy as just standing still. Hello guys, this is Genuine Gaming, sharing with you my tips in playing TECHNOMANCER solo in the mid-game. That would be from levels 11 to 20. Skills loadout. In my skills loadout, I constantly use blighted rounds. It fills your current weapon's magazine with decay-infused bullets that inflict toxic onto enemies. Enemies within a small radius of the main target also receive toxic and 50% of the damage. The skill lasts until you reload or switch weapons. This is your go-to skill in the mid-game. Next is Fixing Wave skill. This releases your energy to restore 33% of health and 50% of health to your turrets regardless of distance. Although you heal yourself every time you damage enemies, you would find many times in the mid-game that you get swarmed by enemies that would take a ton of damage. This skill gives you a breathing room when this happens. On the third skill in my loadout, I was kind of switching between these two. Tools of Destruction, which conjures a rocket launcher that can interrupt enemies, or a minigun that deals damage per shot. The skill will remain active until all ammo is depleted or until you switch weapons. And Cryo Turret, which summons an automated turret that deals damage and inflicts freeze onto enemies. The turret's health depletes slowly over time and when it takes damage. The loadout would depend on what type of enemies you have. I use Tools of Destruction against monsters, while Cryo Turret against humanoid enemies. I would have wanted Cryo Turret as part of my load since I would like to play cover and shoot as a TECHNOMANCER. However, I have a hard time fighting against monsters since there will be no cover available against monsters. Class points. At mid-game, I really have a hard time fighting against enemies, both humanoids and monsters. It is because in this part of the game, the TECHNOMANCER class lacks crowd control skills. He has the Cold Snap skill, drops a gadget to inflict freeze onto all enemies within a large radius around you. But this will only be available when your character reaches level 17. Shrapnel just had a small radius, while Pain Launcher only deals damage in a straight line. That is why I use sometimes the Rocket Launcher and the Tools of Destruction skill for crowd control. I would even at times use Minigun, especially when hordes of monsters come at me. The strategy is to kill all enemies before they come close to you. It is good to note that one of the class traits of the TECHNOMANCER is an increased long-range weapon damage by 15%. That is why the best strategy for a TECHNOMANCER is to kill your enemies before it kills you. With this in mind, I suggest you go for the Pestilence build to easily kill your enemies before it even touches you. Equip mods. With regards to mods, I would try to focus on the blighted rounds since I would be using this skill more often. These are my suggestions. Spare Mag. The skill is effective for one additional magazine before triggering the cooldown. Trick up the sleeve. While the skill is active, killing shots grant you 30% extra bullets in your mag. So if you have killed an enemy with your gun and not by any other means, it grants you another 30% of your bullets. You can have an endless blighted rounds with this skill. With regards to Tool of Destruction skill, I would suggest the following mods. FORTIFY When you activate your minigun, it grants you armor bonus based off of the level of the item this mod is attached. It makes you a tank when you use your minigun. Remember that when you equip the minigun, you would increase your firepower in exchange for your mobility. Bang for buck. Activating the skill grants a 100% base ammo increase for the selected tool. This doubles the ammo of your Tools of Destruction skill. In the mid-game, it is difficult to play Technomancer due to his lack of firepower, especially against hordes of enemies. One-on-one, this class is so good. One-on-one with the bosses, playing Technomancer, is as easy as just standing still. Not really standing still, but you know what I mean. If you love what you saw, give this video a like, and if you want more video game reviews and tips, subscribe to my channel. And please do not forget to click that bell button to be always notified every time I upload a video. See you in the next vid. Ciao!